Hello, good evening. It's so good to have you join us again today as we bring you another edition of Weekend File. Now, public health is the science of protecting and improving the health of families and communities through the promotion of healthy lifestyles, research for disease and injury prevention, detection and control of infectious diseases. In fact, a large part of public health is the promotion of healthcare, equity, quality, and accessibility. Many Nigerians still attribute many health problems to witches, demons, and other mythical beliefs. Therefore, even when health information is made available and healthcare facilities put in place, many prefer their beliefs or seek treatment from untrained herbalists. Such myth played out during the Ebola saga in Nigeria, but for the timely intervention of the federal government, the nation was able to contain the disease. The sustenance of the containment is a task that requires the same level of energy given to the fight itself, because it is much more difficult to control such disease if it attacks communities without the relevant information or preventive mechanism. Our concern tonight is on public health matters, especially at this period of the year when holiday makers are expected into the country in large numbers. After the success recorded during the Ebola saga, Nigerians seem to have relaxed. We'll still have dirty environment in some places around the country. Hand sanitizers have disappeared from the several locations where they were placed for use. The infrared guns are less visible these days, and some Nigerians are now beginning to call for the return of the sanitation officers. Now, join us as we x-ray public health matters in Nigeria on Weekend File. Thanks for choosing to stay with us this weekend. My name is Kirian Umayo. And now, the news of the day. An Overland Airlines commercial plane from Abuja to Ibadan crash-landed at Electoral Airport this afternoon with about 59 passengers and 4 crew members on board. Our correspondent Abdulwahid Edire, who visited the airport, reports some passengers are saying that the aircraft hovered for several minutes on air at the airport, where it was scheduled to drop some passengers before land crashing. Instead of heading to the tarmac, it ran into the ditch within the runway. No casualties were recorded, but passengers were still stranded at the airport as at the time of this report. The Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, has described the bomb blast at the Central Mosque as inhumane, while commiserating with the families of those who lost their lives. Abdullahi Mustafa reports that the Emir has directed for the immediate repair of the mosque to enable worshippers resume daily prayers.
The Kano Central Mosque was first built in the 16th century by late ruler of Kano, Muhammad Rumfa. The present structure was constructed about 80 years ago by Emir Abdullahi Bayero. Throughout the over 400 years of its existence, not a single of the 5 daily prayers was ever missed. However, this long history was broken by the deadly attack on worshippers while observing Jumat prayers last Friday. Emir Muhammad Sanusi, who was outside the country at the time of the incident, cut the foreign trip and returned to Kano. While condemning the attack, which he described as inhuman and in sharp contrast with all religious teachings, the Emir commiserated with families of the victims. The Emir also directed the district head of Kano City to ensure immediate repairs of the badly damaged mosque to enable worshippers to resume daily prayers. Governor Rabi Musa Konkoso also visited the scene, where he called on perpetrators of the attack to lay down their arms and embrace dialogue. He had earlier visited the Murtala Muhammad Specialist Hospital, where he commiserated with victims and assured them of adequate and free treatment by the state government. The governor was earlier informed by Deputy Commissioner of Police Sanusi Lemu that the death toll from the attack has risen to 100. At the Muhammad Abdullahi Wase Specialist Hospital, officials have expressed satisfaction with the positive response of the public to the clarion call for them to donate blood to injured victims. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
The Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar, has condemned the recent bomb attack that occurred in Kano Central Mosque, describing it as inhuman and un-Islamic.
I don't think any Muslim who claims to be a Muslim will load a vehicle with bombs and carry weapons and go into the Friday Central Mosque while people have just started prayer and kill so many innocent people. If he possesses Islam, that person is not a Muslim.
The Sultan called on the Muslims and other Nigerians to give the government and the necessary support and cooperation it requires to address the problem of terrorism in Nigeria. In a similar development, the national president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Pastor Ayo Orisejefo, has described as unfortunate the bomb blast in Kano, which claimed the lives of innocent worshippers. In a statement, Pastor Orisejefo condemned the attack coming shortly after a dialogue between religious leaders aimed at finding solutions to insurgency in the country. The camp president said the Christian community in Nigeria commiserates with the families of victims, especially those who lost their lives in the attack. Pastor Orisejefo renewed his appeal to Nigerians to offer useful information to security agents in the quest to address insurgency, stressing the need also for continuous prayers for the peace of the nation. The Senate President David Mark has described the bomb explosion which claimed the lives of worshippers at the Kano Central Mosque, describing it as an act of madness by the perpetrators. In his statement, Senator Mark urged well-meaning Nigerians to rise up against the terrorists who appear desperate to put asunder the peace and the unity of Nigeria. He charged security operatives not to be deterred by the recalcitrant attitude of the insurgents, but be further strengthened towards protecting and defending the territorial integrity of the nation. And the Senate President David Mark has canvassed for a smooth electoral process anchored on the rule of law and the will of the people, rather than resorting to violence capable of undermining the 2015 elections. A statement issued by his secretary says Senator Mark told his constituents during the PDP State Assembly primaries to ensure that elections are guided by rules and international best practices so as to ensure credibility. He said politicians must rise above sentiment, accept the verdict of elections properly conducted, and work towards making Nigeria a better place for all. The wife of the Vice President, Hajj Amina Namadi-Sambo, has again donated food items and essential commodities to people displaced by the insurgency in the northeast geopolitical zone of the country. Hajj Amina Sambo was at the largest camp accommodating internally displaced persons in Yola, Adamawa State, to personally present the relief materials to alleviate their sufferings.
In continuation of her visit to various camps where internally displaced persons are accommodated, the wife of the Vice President was at the largest camp at the NYC camp in Yola. Hajj Amina Namadi-Sambo, who was visibly moved by the testimonies of the displaced persons, consoled and assured them that government is doing everything possible to bring the unfortunate situation under control. Presenting relief materials to those residents in the camp as well as representatives of 13 other camps in and around Yola, wife of the Vice President also offered scholarships to some of the children who lost their parents in the crisis.
We are so concerned about the plight of these people, and so we felt we should come in and see how we can give succor to them. And today we have presented a lot of materials that could assist them. And we hope and pray that very soon they will go back to their various homes. We pray for peace and unity in this nation.
Hajia Amina Sambo was at the palace of the Lamido of Adamawa, Alhaji Barkinda Mustafa, to commiserate with him over the situation in his domain and thank him for supporting the present administration. The Lamido of Adamawa, Alhaji Barkinda Mustafa, while thanking the wife of the Vice President for the visit and support to the victims of the insurgency, commended the federal government for its effort to bring the situation under control. Before leaving Yola,
Over 90% of permanent voters' cards for Nasarawa have arrived in the state as the Independent National Electoral Commission commenced their distribution. Correspondent Joshua Ojito reports.
In the early hours of the day, eligible voters trooped to various polling units across the state to collect their permanent voters' card, the exercise which the state government attached premium to it and declared public holiday so as to ensure mass participation in the exercise. NTA News gathered that the exercise has been hitch-free in Lafia, the state capital, as well as other local government areas across the state. Governor Umaru Tanko Al-Mukura was at the Lungun Wambe polling unit in Gayam Ward, Lafia, where he collected his permanent voter's card issued to him by the National Commissioner, INEC, in charge of Benue, Nasarawa, Kogi, and Plateau State, Abdul Kadri Oniyangi.
I'm really optimistic that even before Sunday, given the pace at which people are collecting their PVC, I am sure that the exercise will be a tremendous success.
Earlier, the INEC officials led by the National Commissioner Abdul Kadri Oniyangi paid a courtesy call on Governor Al-Mukura, where the commission reassured the people of Nasarawa State of its readiness to conduct free, fair and transparent 2015 polls. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
The Sultan of Sokoto and the Permanent Amirul Hajj, Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, has described the 2014 Hajj operation as the best so far in the recent years, urging stakeholders to adopt the same benchmark for 2015 and subsequent exercises. This was during the post-Hajj 2014 conference in Abuja. Aliyu Kabir was there.
The conference is meant to review the successes and challenges of the 2014 Hajj operation with a view to charting the way forward. Issues of accommodation in Mecca, Medina, Muna and Arafat, as well as transportation, feeding, healthcare delivery and sanitation dominated discussion.
I would like to thank all of you here, the stakeholders, for the very positive role you have played to make the 2014 Hajj one of the best, if not the best ever. Teamwork is very necessary in all the things we do in life. There are one or two things which happen which is very unusual.
This combination of stakeholder support, dedicated staff, and of course guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all led to the successes that we are now all announcing today.
Other issues discussed include the need for more collaboration between the National Hajj Commission, the Saudi authorities and the various states' pilgrims welfare boards to harmonize on the issues of airlifting of pilgrims, seat allocation and reduce delay in departures. In Abuja, Aliyu Kabir, NTA News.
A report just reaching us says President Goodluck Jonathan has condoled with the families of the victims of the bomb blast in Kano, which claimed scores of lives. President Jonathan stated this during an interaction with town unions and market leaders from the Southeast Zone trading in Lagos. He reassured Nigerians that the intimidation by the terror groups will soon come to an end.
Let me use this opportunity to reassure Nigerians that, of course, Nigeria is passing through challenges now. And I always say that other countries have passed through similar challenges and they have survived. Nigeria will surely survive. This intimidation will not last long. We are working hard, we are changing a number of things, but you cannot solve such problems overnight. A number of people even come to me and say, look, intelligence system is weak and so, but I know how many of us they have been faulting. They were not going to publish the list, but whenever this is happening, they used to brief me. But we are working very hard. We'll continue to improve on our technology. The country should bear with us. This intimidation will soon end. Nigeria will surely triumph.
Another memorandum of understanding to build power generation and transmission infrastructure has been signed by the federal government with a Turkish company. Mia Ogidi has details of the MOU.
The MOU by the federal government and the Turkish company is to be solely funded by the government of Turkey, while the Nigerian government is to provide incentives in form of duty waivers, rebate and tax holidays on power plant equipment and installations. The MOU, which is to upgrade the transmission infrastructure and increase the energy mix in the generation component of the power value chain, will connect more communities to the national grid.
The unbundling of NEPA or PACM has made the playing field very level for investors, both national and international. You can go in and put your money in distribution. And our plan is to take the national grid to every corner of Nigeria. Although transmission is still in hands of government, we have seen the need for us to open some window.
That we're able to assist in what we're doing today, especially in the transmission, in generation, and distribution.
The Federal Minister of Power says the frequent signing of memoranda of understanding in the power sector is a deliberate move to meet up the 20,000 megawatts target by the year 2020. In Abuja, Mia Ogidi, NTA News.
Lagos State Governor has expressed concern over the conduct of the ongoing voter card distribution. He was reacting against the background that he could not collect his voter's card where he registered in 2010. The report.
Governor Babatunde Fashola expressed concern that reports across many registration points showed delay in commencement of the exercise, while many people claimed they could not find their cards. The governor himself could not collect his permanent voter's card where he registered because officials of INEC said the computer used had collapsed.
If I, the governor of the state, who was elected, cannot even vote, it says a lot about what INEC has really done here. And you see, they went to post the notice there overnight and saying that we should all just go and register. So they just cancelled my polling unit in effect.
The governor described the development as a shame, noting that when INEC announced the commencement of the distribution, the state government has spent so much to mobilize the people for the exercise.
The Chancellor, Igbinedion University, Okada, Edo State, Chief Gabriel Igbinedion, wants the federal government to continuously pay adequate attention to the challenges being faced in the education sector for the development of the nation. The Chancellor was speaking at the 12th convocation ceremony of the institution held in Okada, Edo State. Correspondent Kenneth Nanim reports.
Highlighting the achievements of the university in the areas of academic studies, human development, capacity building, and national development, the Chancellor of the institution, Chief Gabriel Igbinedion, says moral and infrastructural decay, low funding, and insecurity are serious challenges being faced in the education sector.
We hope the government of this nation will address each deficiency in the education sector.
Other speakers, including the Vice-Chancellor of the university, Professor Ewosa Osai, expressed the hope of private universities in the country becoming beneficiaries of the Third Fund Intervention Program. They solicited collaboration from stakeholders in awarding scholarships to deserving students.
We transform every student given to us, including those that have been written off, to become can't beat the very best possible.
The federal government of Nigeria has initiated safe education program to children from the affected areas across the country.
The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Senator Bola Mohammed, conferred with the honorary doctorate degree of governance, was among the recipients of the institution's honorary doctorate degree award. A total of 773 students were admitted to the various degrees of the university, with awards of excellence given to the outstanding students. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Winners have emerged in the 2014 National Safety Quiz Competition for senior secondary schools across the country. The competition is an initiative of Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria and the Federal Road Safety Corps. Amechi Piles reports that Christ the King School, Okigwe, Imo State, was the overall winner.
Consciousness among students. Of the 500 schools that participated, only 6 made it to the final stage. Questions at the event focused on safety measures, national development, and road traffic signs. At the end of the exercise, Christ the King Grammar School, Okigwe in Imo State, won the star prize of a 20 kVA power generating set and laptops.
We missed a lot because after much struggle and preparations, we have finally become the best.
While Winners International Academy, Yenogwe Bayelsa State, went home with the star prize of a brand new multi-purpose copier, Federal Government College Kaduna was the third prized winner of a computer set. Adewale Oluwadamilola was the best performing student in the competition. The annual event is part of Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria's efforts at promoting safety education among the youth.
We need to develop safety, pedestrian and passenger behaviors in children.
As they grow older, they will become better road safety adults.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, is co-sponsor and initiator of the National Safety Quiz Competition in Lagos. Amechi Piles, NTA News.
First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan has congratulated FCT Minister Senator Bala Mohammed on the conferment of an honorary doctorate degree on him by the Igbinedion University, Okada, Edo State. In a congratulatory message, the First Lady said the honor is a testimony to the diligence, dedication, and commitment which the minister brings to bear on the administration of the FCT. She noted that the conferment of the honorary degree demonstrates the confidence reposed in him, not only by the university, but the generality of the people. She asked him to use the conferment of the doctorate degree as a motivation to continue to work for the unity, peace, and development of the FCT and Nigeria as a whole. Former Egyptian leader Hosni Mubarak may soon walk the streets as a free man. This follows court verdict which exonerated him from murder charges of protesters during his days in office. The declaration of Nigeria as Ebola-free on October 20, 2014 was greeted with a big sigh of relief by citizens. Government then advised that all should remain on alert and be vigilant. Many Nigerians gradually reverting to their old habits of poor personal hygiene and public health, and that's a very big question. Stay with us as we examine these after the break.
From the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Change is never easy. It was not easy for Dr. Martin Luther King when Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore from third world to first world. It was not easy. They stoned him. It was not easy for Nelson Mandela.
I, Barack Hussein Obama.
It was not easy for Barack Obama. Nothing worthwhile ever is. Dr. Martin Luther King did it. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew did it. Nelson Mandela did it. Barack Obama did it. Goodluck Jonathan is doing it. He is transforming Nigeria. Mr. President, keep doing it. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Professor.
My former students.
Happy birthday.
Every day, life is made better by the moments of surprise we create for others and for ourselves. Be better. Surprise someone this season and make sure to text 11 to 400 to get a surprise from MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Chi Happy Hour, burst of refreshment. Available in peach, tropical fruit, apple peach pear, kiwi mint lime, and guava. Chi Happy Hour, burst of refreshment.
House of Chi. Want your bathroom to dazzle? Give your toilet the hypo treatment to brighten and also kill germs, so your bathroom stays disinfected and squeaky clean.
About 50 years ago, a child was born in the Ajah district of Ibadan land, named Oluwaseyi Abiodun Makinde. This child is divinely endowed with philanthropy and kindness to the extent that he cannot bear to see people suffer around him. He has therefore taken it upon himself to touch lives and make impact with various philanthropic gestures, scholarship to indigent students, empowerment, widowhood supports, and countless others.
He has been doing a lot of things despite that he's not in government. He's trying. He has done so many things for the people, bursary award for the students, taking care of the widows.
Support PDP. PDP power. Omititun Igbaotun.
Johnny S5.5, the slimmest in the world. Johnny, to be needed, to be loved. Johnny M2, 28 days standby time. Johnny, to be needed, to be loved.
Every time you get on the pitch, nothing feels better than giving 100%. When you hear the sound of thousands of our fans roaring, you just have to. And for us, nothing's better than Chivita 100%. With 100% goodness and 100% satisfaction. Go all the way with 100% or nothing. Chivita 100%. 100% or nothing.
And now to the business of the day. The focus of a public health intervention is to prevent and manage diseases, injuries, and other health conditions through surveillance of cases and the promotion of healthy behavior, communities, and environment. Research has shown that many diseases are preventable through simple and medical methods, such as the act of hand washing with soap. In this report, health correspondent Rabi Abdallah takes a look at the Nigerian situation.
Public health plays an important role in disease prevention efforts in both the developing world and in developed countries, through local health systems and non-governmental organizations. The World Health Organization is the international agency that coordinates and acts on global public health issues. Most countries have their own government public health agencies. In Nigeria, the Federal Ministry of Health is the custodian of public health and, to some extent, the Federal Ministry of Environment. Most of the concepts and things that fall into public health or environmental sanitation constitutionally lies with the states and local governments. Public health communications, vaccinations, hand washing with soap and water, and the use of hand sanitizers, as in the case of the Ebola virus disease, are examples of common public health measures that have contributed greatly to the health of populations and increases in life expectancy.
I wash my hand often. I think that one can help to prevent or protect me.
The practice here is curative rather than preventive. Because I remember that even when we were in primary schools, they used to check our fingernail, check our dressing and all those stuff. So the shoe you wear, the teacher will check it even before during assembly. And when you are closing, then on Wednesday, which is the mid-week, they used to check and clap for the best dressed and cleanest in the neatest. But it's no longer like that these days. I think we should start to train our children right from onset.
Although Nigeria has maintained an Ebola-free status, this period of the year, popularly referred to as December rush, where people travel down from even Ebola-endemic countries, raises a lot of worry about the likelihood of re-importation of the Ebola virus disease. The question, therefore, on the lips of many is, how secured are the various entry points into the country? In Abuja, Rabi Abdallah, NTA News.
October 20, 2014, the World Health Organization declared Nigeria Ebola-free, but checks across Lagos State indicate vigilance on the part of the public and the various measures introduced to check any possible transmission of the virus are beginning to relax. Ken Eboluge tells us more.
Various measures were put in place. These include hand-washing facilities with soap and sanitizers, infrared guns were used at point of entry, offices, hospitals, and other public places. Surveillance and monitoring were also intensified at the borders, where port health workers and other officers were sensitized, trained, and equipped.
All the customs area controllers to put all officers on red alert. This is to ensure that Ebola disease does not find its way into Nigeria.
The culture of personal hygiene was again reinforced. In no time, the nation survived the virus. This notwithstanding, experts say Nigerians need to be on the alert and maintain laid-down standards and surveillance checks. NTA's investigations revealed that some offices, entry points, sea and airports in Lagos State have relaxed in the adherence of preventive measures put in place during the outbreak of Ebola. These respondents say it's not good for the country.
I think that we should continue taking precautions. We should continue, using hand sanitizers and be careful with whatever we do.
People are coming to Nigeria every day from different countries. You never know who might be coming with it that has not been diagnosed yet, that doesn't know.
We should continue the culture of prevention.
when you go to many organizations that took up the preventive measures. Now you see that we are relaxing. Analysts are of the opinion that now that the World Health Organization has declared the country Ebola-free, authorities concerned, especially at the state entry point, should not rest on their oars, but should make sure that the state stays free. In Lagos, Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
The declaration of Nigeria as Ebola-free reduced the anxiety and fear in Nigerians, resulting in the citizens not being subjected to rigorous health checks. Correspondent Hadija Tijani reports that the Kano state government is, however, using sanitary inspectors to sensitize residents on maintaining healthy environment.
Various public and private establishments visited by NTA News revealed that more emphasis is on security rather than checks for Ebola. Only few banks are still carrying out the checks, while other establishments, including the Aminu Kano International Airport and motor parks, had preventive measures in sight. As a result of the outbreak of Ebola in the country, school holidays were extended by a month, where students and adults alike were subjected to rigorous checks at that time, which is now history.
Stop checking people. Well, because no NHS ever been reported, so they feel free, but anyway, it's not ideal.
They used to give us water with ice to wash our hand because of Ebola.
So we should not be dirty. That we should always wash our hand after using the toilet.
Kano State Government, through its Committee on Ebola, mounted a series of campaigns which have helped in creating good health values and practices among the people.
You can see there is improvement because even initially you used to see dirty everywhere, but now the situation is really improved.
The various campaigns and schemes which focus on personal hygiene were carried out by sanitary health inspectors who move from house to house in order to sensitize the public.
We have 4,435 sanitary inspectors. Now we have reduced to the lowest level the increases of communicable diseases in Kano State.
The Kano State government says there is no cause for alarm as long as sanitary inspections continue in the state and across the country. Hadiza Najat Tijani, NTA News.
You're watching Weekend File on the network service of the NTA. Up ahead is the discussion segment of the program. We have our guests to do that. Don't go away.
The best price I can get, that's why I shop on Jumia. Quality you can trust, you can count on us.
For a viewing experience you love, get the Samsung 32-inch LED TV at 41,490 Naira at jumia.com.ng. Jumia, the online shop you can trust.
Africa. Some see it as a land of challenges. We see it as a land of endless opportunities, where success comes from hard work and determination, and having a strong partner. Boxer, engineered to be stronger, engineered to last longer, because to make it in Africa, you need to be stronger for longer. Boxer, made stronger to last longer.
Chivita Active Fruit Juice, unique quality blend of 6 citrus fruit juices with added vitamin C. It's the perfect choice of refreshment for an active lifestyle.
Want to dance?
Chivita Active. Be active. Do more. Get more out of life.
House of Cheese.
Wow, what a great beach! Look, other kids have also discovered it. Who owns this place? A Capri check. Put the straw in and let the tasty Capri Sun decide. And now the beach belongs to everyone. My kids are explorers. They love Capri Sun. Capri Sun provides them great taste, lots of energy and fun. Now, new exciting tropical flavor is also available for even more fun. Capri Sun, naturally fun.